Hi again, it's January 19th, 2012, and I'm in a shopping area called Fleming Place in Topeka, Kansas. And I'm not getting out of my car because it would just attract far too much attention to what I'm doing, and I don't want people to become alarmed. But this is adjacent to some pretty affluent parts of town, and the nicest city park that we have, where the zoo is, the Dillon's supermarket there, which is an affiliate of, a subsidiary of Kroger, has their best line of groceries here. And if you look straight ahead there, where that chapel-like clock is, underneath it is a cafe called Blackbird, which is probably the most, I don't want to say passe words like hip and with it, but it is both of those things. Anything that's important going on in the city will touch that cafe in some way, and I have some friends who work there. It's the people that go in there touch every demographic because of their positioning and inherently good things that go on in there. I know for a fact that some of the Occupy Topeka people, any kind of activist, kind of has some time spent in there. I don't want to say that's the hotbed of it, but that's where where the people can meet sometimes. There's a UPS store next to it, a jeweler, a pharmacy, a framing place, which is quite high-end and nice, the best Italian restaurant in town, most likely, lots of local businesses, a bank chain. Anyway, retail spaces are available both directly in front of me and between the UPS store and Blackbird. And when I was meeting with some friends here the other day, we noticed the heavy foot traffic here during the day, and I'm sure at night too when there's music events at the cafe. We noticed the value of this area and how prosperous it is, and it turns out that these three open spaces here rent for $1 per square foot per month plus utilities. I don't know precisely how much the utilities would be, but let's say it works out to be 25 to 30 cents on the dollar, 25 or 30% of a gratuity on that. That is really astounding. It gets kind of dead here at night, at twilight, as you can see, or at dusk. But if you look inside there now, about half of the tables are full, and people spend a bit of money. And during the daytime, I see a lot of people seal some pretty high-profile deals, mostly to do with nonprofit, energy, insurance, that kind of thing. Anyway, $1 per square foot. To put it in perspective, retail space in most medium-sized cities was what, $50 per square foot? Fifth Avenue in New York City, it's an average of $2,100. That's the most expensive example I can think of. And while we're not looking at high-end transactions going on here, I really think that if anybody listening is looking to seize the moment and to base themselves somewhere that has a moderately robust economy but not necessarily booming, this is really a good place for you to begin positioning yourself. Everywhere in Canada that I know of, from my connection there, is pretty much overpriced, and even the newspapers were saying that the boom in Alberta, for instance, is set to reach its apex around the second or third quarter of this year, 2012. It helps if you can find a place in the U.S. that is not overwhelmingly violent or hasn't lost its main industry, or even if there isn't just one industry that everyone's dependent on, everywhere else, look at it as a developing or an emerging economy. Things are rough, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of violence going on everywhere. But if you can just hold on and buy into things, I think that people will be well placed in that. And